Why is this happening? Oh, perfect. You know what? Let me post this. That's exactly what you want to see. I should have checked. I didn't check. I'm a bad boy like that. Sometimes I don't check things. I don't know. I'm living life large. Let's drop that because that volume's going to be way too cracked. That's okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut in early because obviously this is a bit of an insane thing to watch. Although if you really want to see just this corner of the trail, oh, shout out my girl. You know, this is pod racing. Okay, this is perfect. All right, we're going to cut in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, my name is Alex. I'm a social community manager here, and guys, I don't know who set up the tech, but they must be like really good. They must have perfected it. We are here today, or we are sort of the development team for Age of Darkness, and I am joined here today with...
I'm Kyle. I'm a 3D artist.
Why'd you say that as a question?
I wasn't sure how much to indulge on.
HR. Kyle doesn't know own role.
I've built some of the environments for Age of Darkness. So
whoa, plugging what you've done as well. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how far to take this.
Yeah. No, take it as far as you want. I love that. And we're also joined by...
Yeah, I'm Josh. I'm an engineer here at Playside and worked a bunch on Age of Darkness.
Awesome. Great. So what we're going to be doing today is something a little bit different. So we're going to be playing multiplayer, not that different or crazy, but we're going to be doing a little bit of a challenge. So what is going to happen is we're going to be doing, Kyle is going to be using melee only, while Josh is going to be using ranged units only. That's it. I think we don't need to explain it any further than that. Let's dive into the game. If you guys want to ready up, let's get their sound cues going as well. Beautiful.
I mostly only play range anyway, so this
is
perfect.
Oh, nice. Cool,
when you're
cool.
like, I'll take melee, I was like, yeah, sick. Very good.
And,
very good.
I'm mostly a Zerg player as well, so, you know, it's mostly melee.
This worked out perfectly. Amazing. Cool. So we're going to get into the game. Sorry, I'm just checking a few things on the back end. I'm crazy for it. No, this is exciting. So why do you guys, we put it in the chat, like an internal community chat, not to leak. But I was like, if you guys want to pick, and they were both so kind of like, I don't mind, like, what do you want to do? Happy to do either. So Kyle, why did you want to play Aurelia for melee? Like, why did you pick this character for the melee?
I think, from memory at least, it was mostly to do around all of her buffs that she has, or that she can provide for her troops. So I'm hoping to get a good amount of burst damage, or like, if I'm coming up against anything particularly tough, I can use her to sort of help out with that. Yeah.
Do you want to go into some do you know the details about her buffs, or are you just saying like, I know she's got buffs?
I honestly, it's been a long time since I played.
No, what do you mean? And by long time you mean minutes.
But like, at least like there's a lot of damage buffs that she can give out as well, and a bit of a speed buff as well. So I'm hoping that should help me out in some tight situations.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle.
Oh, you need help?
No. Oh, no.
I'm coming.
Oh,
no,
wow. Okay, that's crazy. So
I grade the elite point of interest really close to my bears.
All right.
And I've got Cyrus too, who's so slow. They're gonna run me down.
Yeah,
no,
so
we're fine.
I'll just.
Oh, are we actually gonna fight?
Yeah, fight it.
Let's do it.
You gotta take it. And this is where we see the synergy.
Should be okay.
Yeah. I think we can allow you to have your 3 starting rogues. But I think once we get the training hall,
Okay.
You might have to delete them.
Yeah. Hey, wait, that was
nice, easy done. Easy done.
Yeah, wait a second. Restart the game. Crank it up to nightmare. Like, what are we doing out here on normal difficulty? Final stand's gonna be a cinch. Alright. No, this is going good. So what do you guys, this double L stone. I don't think I've ever seen a stone touching the keep before.
Yeah. Your start is so cracked, actually.
I got a lot of stone near me.
I find that, like, when I play multiplayer, I just accidentally sometimes just go a little too rogue and don't, like, participate. And then, like, you know, if my teammates...
Yeah, you open up a second game. You're playing Tetris with friends on the side.
If my teammate is, like, getting this, like, elite thing that, like, just happened to me, I'm leaving them. I'm like, wow, it sucks to be here.
Hey Crunchy Weasel, thank you back. You're right. Aurelia players are built different. Also, we're talking about before. I was like, oh, who do you guys think is better? Because we'll put that person on the monitor. And Josh was like, well, Kyle's cracked at StarCraft, and I don't know if that means something. And I was like, I think that means something to be honest. I think, and definitely, like, not to say too much, but as someone who's looking at both of the screens, there's like a definitive difference
Hey, come on.
in the way. No. In like Josh, you're much closer to me, where it's like you're more moving around and it's like a more smooth thing. Kyle's is like twitch. Like there's a lot of microing. It's a lot more on the keyboard. Kyle, do you also want to pull in a bit just so you're like properly in shot?
Cool.
I know it's a bit snug and tight. Hey Wedman, what's the challenge? So we're doing one person, Kyle, who's playing Aurelia, is doing melee only units, while Josh is doing range only units. Now I think at the start we're gonna like allow Josh to have the 3.
I can run him into. I can just run him down.
You're gonna suicide them?
Yeah, let's suicide.
Oh, you want to get rid of them right off?
Yeah.
You're like, it's a fake challenge if I don't have.
Get him out of here.
Why don't you send 1 to each corner and see how much like map you can get?
Do some scouting.
Yeah, do some scouting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, may as well get some utility from them. Also, do you all plan to add more people to co-op instead of 2, 3 to 4? I mean, it's definitely a question we get from the community quite a lot, which is like, what if co-op was more? You know, it's one of those things where like the team is very much focused on and have been doing an incredible job of getting out hotfixes and patches for the game to make like the current experience as good as possible. And that's very much the focus as far as like for the future. You know, there's going to be sort of discussions and considerations across the board of like, what sort of stuff are we going to look into? You know, and that's a thing that the team will certainly discuss. Yeah. Hello, Alan Rush 7. Oh, what's up, Alan? Good to see you, a Discord member, unless it's like a complete coincidence. I believe Alan was part of the original beta testing squad.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Awesome.
I believe. If you weren't, Alan, then I apologize for misassigning. But yeah, so a little bit of inside goss is we did 4, 5 different like multiplayer testing on the Discord. And before we made it like public to the Discord entirely, I was sanctioned. I was asked to basically put together a crack squad of specific Discord members to do a very, very closed beta. I think it was like 7 or 8 people. And I think Alan was part of that original collection. So, absolute legend. And shout out everyone who did participate in that. Yeah. Awesome. So let me keep going through these messages. Mr. Squishy, yeah, I mean, there's been like certain notes about like crashes and things. Like that's one of the things that the team has really been focusing on. And there's going to be some hot fixes that sort of address those issues. If I may ask, what other plans do you have? Some new mods and etc. or something? I mean, you can certainly ask. I mean, as I mentioned before, I think the team is just very much focused on sort of bug fixing and patching for the immediate release.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're
Bad. Get out of here. And as far as new content, like there's lots of things that have been considered, you know. I mean, there's so many suggestions coming from the community, and the team obviously is talking about like a lot of different desires of things that they want. It's, you know, everything is under consideration. We can't sort of publicly say anything yet, but just know that like everything is being discussed, everything is being considered, and there will be things. But, you know, what that is not something we're talking about publicly as of yet.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Great.
Oh no.
And I got a personal message that I love to hear, which is sound is great.
Nice.
which is good. Love the game. Is a great game, very addictive. Thanks for the feedback on that. Yeah, no problem at all. If you guys do have any questions, you know, you doink them down. Keen to answer them, keen to, you know.
Can we yoink this, Kyle? I really need the money.
What's this?
Can we take this point of interest?
Yeah,
I really
I think so.
I need it.
Yeah. We should be good to take it.
Yeah, we can focus on the gameplay. There's a good point of interest. I mean, I think, like, probably the point of interest which I think is most desired early in the game is a camp.
Yeah,
which gives you most units, because that's the thing that it's like, probably at this level, you're not necessarily looking to get more soldiers until just before Death Knight 1. So like getting basically like double the amount of soldiers, even more at this point, 7-8 extra soldiers, and you have your hero plus, 4 soldiers. It was 5, but rest in peace.
Oh, that's massive.
You get some gold, you get some iron. I mean, Carl, you're maxed out on gold, so I wouldn't pick that up. I'll let Josh get that.
Yeah.
But it's like the iron's good, but what's it really for? Like, at this point in the game, it's a nice little bonus. Might help you get a ballista a little bit earlier. Not the ballistas of iron. Might help you get some stuff earlier, but those units can come handy and immediately help you take stuff. But they help you do what co-op also allows, which is basically like we're seeing these guys take these points of interest and take these different like challenges earlier in the game than you really would be able to do by yourself. And I think that's one of the like coolest different changes that comes with multiplayer, is that sort of like sense of that's a good tower, sort of preemptive. Gonna have to transfer that to Josh.
That's true. I actually haven't. Is that a thing that we can do?
Building transfers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
This one here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it does cost 25 gold. So it's
Okay.
like not something you necessarily want to be doing a lot. But I like that it costs 25 gold because there is sort of that cost associated with the sort of that facilitation, that assistance, right? Like it's not just if one player is like a lot better than the other, then they can just like give them everything and they can do everything and they can just build all the buildings. You can do that, but there's a little bit of like pullback from that. So being sort of even and having sort of a cohesion and coordinating is more beneficial. And there's a building that will be built later, which is the bazaar, which lets you trade resources more directly. So there's no cost there. So you could also trade all the resources, really being bold, trying to get it inside that, circle. Or maybe you're just testing out if you could delete one and put 2 down.
That was my thinking.
Yeah.
I was, if I could do that, I'm looking for some places of wood.
Yeah, wood's
that-
been a bit hard to come by in this map. Got no little nice nooks.
It's a lot of 14s.
Yeah.
A lot of 14 wood gathering, which is not great.
I
Like,
don't love it.
no, I never really love it. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, they can hang if they want to hang. Like, I'm not going to, like, ask them to leave.
What do I...
No room for cowardice.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking? What are some of your game plans you've got on the mind, ATM?
How much value should I put in houses, Kyle? Are you like an early house kind of guy? Like, do you try and get a bunch of them really early, or do you really try and get like units early?
You've got a lot of houses.
I'm probably,
I'm trying to set my econ up, but I think I have 3 units on the board.
Yeah, I've almost put too much money into my houses and stuff. I need to.
I've got a little gold node over here, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
also in.
That is a
like,
crazy early gold node.
Yeah, it's in a level 2 area, and I only have 3 dudes, so I'm probably not gonna be clearing to it anytime soon.
But good to get to.
Yeah,
So like one of
we'll get
the reasons you might want to place houses is you can have more populations, which can do more stuff. But the other reason why they're talking about economy is because houses is outside of gold, the sort of primary way that you're going to be able to generate more gold. So there is that sort of like investment of they cost a little bit of gold to make, but if that's
Out of my way.
you're going to be sitting at around 200 gold for a lot of the game, or the very early game. And the more lumber mills you build, or training halls like we're seeing right now, that you build. Oh, pike meta coming in. The more that those cost. So you kind of need to place houses to counteract that until you get a gold mine, which Josh got incredibly early. Or you start to unlock those later houses, and then a treasury, which sort of amplifies how much gold that the houses give. So that's why houses are useful outside of just building population. PoE 2 HC Clips. Wanted to read out that full name because it's crazy. Hi guys, this game is amazing. We need more heroes for more player for the game. Yeah, basically, I mean, heroes is another really good example of something that like people are like, what if we had more heroes? And it's like, yeah, what if? That's a sick idea. And it's definitely sort of part of that. Yeah, 100%. The team will very much
shit.
consider it and discuss it and oh my god, 4 nightmares coming through.
Damn.
Blink 15 times as this is not pre-recorded. Hey Garth,
That's a lot of blinking.
I do like addressing these messages. So I'll blink 15 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. However, if you're watching this on Steam broadcast, this is probably pre-recorded. Yeah, if you're looking at the stream timer and it says like 11 hours, odds are we are not streaming for 11 hours. Yeah, so this currently right now, Garth, we're real, baby. We're real. Well, one of us is real. The other two are very advanced cyborgs, but you know, we can't talk too much about play size engineering secrets. Yeah, hey, how's it going though? Welcome to the stream. Elwood Mabatu, sick game. Yeah, it is a sick game. Thank you. Much appreciated. Sack Attack, nice looking moss. Yeah. We could talk a little bit about the art that you did in a second. I'll just get to these other questions. Plan on adding a support character.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is an interesting idea. There are a couple characters that have more support type abilities. So like Merrick is a good one where they kind of heal depending on like certain things they do. What has her name? Not Aurelia. Oh my god. Alis, yeah, has an ability that sort of like gives an AoE buff. Edwin gives like extra embolden. So like there are characters that kind of give support type things within within their kit. But with multiplayer, I think, you know, a more explicit support character would be more feasible to introduce. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting idea. I don't know, what do you guys think of the concept of a support character?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that'd
like
be really
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the Order has like Lightbearer and stuff as well, which does like a little bit of like a heal.
Yeah.
So I guess that with like Merrick, you know, giving all the extra armor and stuff is really interesting. Yeah, it'd be sick. It'd be really interesting.
Yeah, that's a suggestion we were like, ooh, actually, now that you say it. Merrick, best hero in the game. Yeah, shout out to our Merrick stands.
Yeah.
Merrick in the chat, Merrick t-shirts when. Spam playside accounts, Age of Darkness accounts saying we want Age of Darkness merch. I will say, on the stream we did last week, there were quite a few people that have been saying like, hey, we want Age of Darkness merch. And we brought it up to the game director. And he was like, I don't know, maybe. Like, so...
Maybe.
If you guys keep... But like in a way where it was like, let's maybe consider it a little bit more than it's ever been considered before. So if you guys really want merch and you want to keep spamming that,
Out of my way.
if the community really pushes for it, I think they can get through. And as someone who wouldn't have to organize that in any capacity, like I'm like, yeah, maybe let's get merch going. Like, let's do it. So if you guys post about it, then I can push for it and be like, guys, I've been trying to quell the hype, but the people, it's what they want. Hello, welcome to the chat one, Ginge. Thoughts on game length options for multiplayer? So there are a few customizability options, but they are relating to how much you can change, how many days in between death nights, which I know people are also asking for, like extra death nights. The reason the time of the game was picked, which is about 2 hours if you just sort of let it play through, is that's just sort of, there's a couple different reasons, but like one of them is just sort of a reasonable length of time for people to play multiplayer together, right? It's like if you want to get a friend in and you're like, hey, let's sit down, do one session, it's 2 hours. That's very feasible and something we can do. But there have been a lot of people asking for that, and it is a really good example of something that the team are like, you know what? A lot of people are asking for this. When we start to consider things, that'll be there. Like for sure, it's definitely being talked about. It's definitely been noted by the team. So yeah, we're very much aware of that ask, and it's in discussion.
There you go, Kyle. Prepping multiple entrances?
Yeah.
Kyle is ballistic.
He's going absolutely nuts. I'm just chilling.
I don't want to throw down when you guys said like the ability might be equal, but like
it's fine. It's fine.
No, it's I mean, it 100% is fine, but it's like Kyle got way undersold from everybody.
Yeah. I looked at his face before and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
He is way further ahead than me.
Yeah, I was talking about like
Absolutely popping off.
when I was talking about like eco on the houses and how they provide gold. I was like, yeah, but you're probably not going to be like upgrading your houses until like after Death Knight 1. And then like 4 seconds later, I see Kyle not only have that upgrade available, like and unlock, but it was upgrading like 7 at a time, like had the resources in the bank to do it. Get your tricks out!
Oh man.
Wow, that
was really unlucky.
Yeah, that had like a lot less stretch than I thought.
We might try to build some towers up around
you're
there.
melee as well, because I was like, why did you leave such a gap? But yeah, you need somewhere to get in.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
sorry, muscle memory.
I think at that time as
What did you
well.
do? I paused.
Oh, it's all good.
Alright,
Let's try to get some
It is
towers
coming
up
this way.
here
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
If you guys do need to pause, you know, go for it. There can be some strategy discussion.
We should be okay.
Towers coming in a little late, but I mean that's one of the like.
You got time.
Well, that's one of the more pro strats is like wait until you know exactly where they're coming before you put anything down, so you don't waste resources. Because I think something a lot of players do, which is a mistake, or it can be a mistake. Oh, rest in peace that one unit. Which can be a mistake is you start to prep entrances early, which is good, but then you like over invest in resources. And Edge of Darkness, the pathing from the crystal to the base, like if it's in the corner, you're like, oh, it'll probably be this logical, you know, direct line path. And then it's like, well, you haven't found the rest of the map yet, so you don't know, and it's actually much different to what you think it's going to be. So it means like I've definitely put ballistas down and towers down and walls down, and I'm like, it's got to be this. And then it turns out fully to not be that. And then I'm like scrambling because I've like invested all my resources, and it's like, do you sell towers? Do you start to sell all those things? So yeah, putting up towers late is actually...
Yeah, especially for the first Death Knight. Like, you definitely have time to check where the path is going to be and build like structures. I definitely find the second one you don't have as much time.
Sounds good.
But first one you definitely do.
Cool. Well, how did you guys feel about that? You kind of cruised through?
Yeah,
Yeah,
easy.
that was all right.
Kyle had it so sorted. It's fine.
I got some towers over here as well if you want
Yeah,
to chuck
good
some
call,
dudes
good
in.
call.
So
Let me answer these questions. People are popping off in the chat. Hey, everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Very much appreciated. Oh, this is an interesting suggestion. I don't know if you guys have heard this one before. Maz Hui, welcome to the chat. I think each hero should have a unique late game research that makes them further different between the units in the same faction. Yeah, that is an interesting suggestion, like a level 10 plus thing that they get. Yeah, I think that's an interesting suggestion.
I fear nothing.
Could make an option to have longer Death Knights. Yeah, we've talked. Oh, that's interesting. And more of them as well, bonus type. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely in discussion. Kyle be wild. Oh my god, look at you getting gassed up. Kyle do be wild. Thanks for the response. That's exciting. I love multiplayer and the game. The best game of 2025.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
thank you.
Okay, favorite chatter found. Not to play favorites, but if you guys say this is the best game of 2025, it's going to increase your chances of getting that title. Alan, by any chance, do you have plans to continue making more buffs or nerfs to heroes? I asked because I was Merrick's defender and asked for buffs for him after I was able to compare Edwin and Merrick with the latest hardships regarding their values per level. Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, definitely something that's going to continuously be looked at, and everything. But let's,
What do you
Josh,
want?
why don't you pick relatively quickly and then pause?
Oh yeah.
Cool. We could stop and discuss the blessings. Oh, okay. No, Kyle.
I'm just gonna go.
It's fine.
Power
What did you
through,
get?
power
What
through,
did you
power
get?
through. Yeah, do you guys want to explain
Oh,
what
you
you got?
got Way of Blade. Okay, which is so
Yeah,
good for
I got
you.
Wereblade. Yeah, so that's awesome. Get more melee damage. That's actually the first time I've seen that one as well, so it's cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like probably new ones since like you've played a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really cool ones. There's ones that like if they die around it, like if nightmares die around like a building, they can
No
be
room for
converted to your
cowardice.
side. Which is
Awesome.
so funny because I played a game with one of the QA boys and we like didn't have enough damage to kill a crusher, so we just started building like individual walls around him and letting him kill them so that we'd eventually convert to our side. It was
Nice.
so funny.
That was, honestly, so in our launch day live stream, there was 2 crushes, got very, very close. I think it failed on like 200 nightmares or something ridiculously close. There was basically 2 crushes that did it. I think between the two of Yuta and Maru, they placed like 150 walls. and had the change of heart blessing, and it just
Yeah.
never propped. And the strategy was literally like that one channel, like one of them needs to like switch sides, and then it'll
Yeah.
take out the other one, and it just never happened, and it
That's
doomed
so
the run.
funny.
But it was literally like this is doomed unless we get this change of heart flip.
Yeah.
And I think they got really, I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but like would have been
That's crazy.
1 or 2% chance of it not happening.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really unlucky. But it is a fun strategy to be like, oh, I hope we get that crusher.
I love a little bit of like RNG strategy like that, where it's
Yeah.
like, God, I hope this random chance happens, otherwise I lose.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of Pokemon, like whatever, Pokemon online
Like
battling.
Oh yeah.
And it's like when you're like, I'm gonna play around a crit, 10% chance. Like my strategy depends on me getting a critical right now.
Yeah.
Or you know, if their move has like an 85% chance of hitting, you're like 15% chance I live. And if it doesn't happen, I'm doomed. But I'm playing around the crit, which they do a lot of speedrunning as well. They play around crits. And,
Oh yeah, interesting.
playing around the crit is like a massive thing in Nuzlocke challenges as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Which I really like. And I think there is a little bit of fun with change of heart blessings.
Yeah. It always just sucks to be on the reverse end of that person playing the RNG, where it's
Yeah.
all like, oh, I win these no matter what. It's like, oh no, and they crit. No, awesome. Yeah, very good.
When it happens against you, it's a trash game. Devs plays nerf. But when it happens to you, it's like, you know, it's skill.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, let me just go through. We need to make Merrick number 1. Yeah, I love the Merrick,
So many
Merrick
Merrick support.
stands.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely love Merrick, yeah. Shout out to his number 1 in my heart. Shout out Alan for saying that. Hey, Colonel May, how you doing?
Good.
Today's killer. Need to get my wife a gaming rig so we can play together.
Ooh,
Oh,
man.
that's very sweet. There's been a couple people that are like, yeah, I've been playing with my spouse. And I think that's honestly dreams, goals.
It's so good. I'm trying to get my fiance to play.
Brag
and-
about it.
And she's,
Me and my no one in my life. That's fine.
she just like keeps watching me when I've been playing at night. She's like, there's just so much on the screen. Maybe I should show her Kyle's stream and be
Yeah.
like, this is what real gameplay looks like as well.
But also just claim it's yours. Be like, we played. Just you don't have to say it explicitly, but have them assume it's yours.
I'm very good at the game.
Yeah. I'm also quite good at StarCraft.
Which we all know isn't true. Very bad.
No, they don't know. They don't know. Sick. I'm great at StarCraft. Yeah, this is a fun game to watch as well, I think. And I think it's like there is quite a lot going on, but I think it is quite like interpretable. If you've played other RTSs as well, it's like there are a lot of pretty standard. It's like it's built off the back of a lot of like true RTS mechanics and everything, but then it has its own like twists and flares, like it being kind of like a tower defense game and a survival game at the same time is kind of where it changes up. But it's like if you've played an RTS, like one of the things I do like about it, and I like when games do this in general, is when it just feels intuitive.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it should do this because this is what the other games of the genre, and then you're like, great. Like going into a game, like I play a lot of settlement builders, really classic to have like 1, 2, 3 be the different time.
Oh yeah.
And I was
yeah.
playing a game and it didn't do that, and it didn't have a way to rebind.
Oh, it's so awkward.
yeah.
It's so awkward to try and like relearn your bindings.
And I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I have to manually go up and click the keys. What am I, a peasant?
disgusting. My APM. Oh my god.
And I do. I'm constantly in a settlement builder cranking APM. I'm pressing 1, 2, 3 on repeat. Left hand only.
Do you have any good iron around you?
Yeah,
Kyle?
just where I'm at now on the top part of the
Oh
map.
hell yeah! Do you have?
That's a fat
badly-
deposit, wow.
Oh wait, I've actually got one. Never mind.
Nice.
And say I'm struggling on the iron deposit, but we're right now. We're chilling.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely that time in the game to start moving towards iron. Probably not necessary, but it's one of those things which is good to start to get online as early as you can, especially because you're probably going to have one deposit. So it'll take a time to max out. So it's like if you can get onto that early, build up, get to like full storage or near full storage, and then when you actually need it, it'll be like a couple minutes later and you're like, great, now I can start to build all the things and I don't have to go like one at a time and wait for it to build up. Oh my god, there's a lot of chat messages. Hey everyone, welcome again. If you guys want to talk about the game, I can screen some of these, pick out the good ones.
Oh no.
Ooh, I just lost a lot of my troops just then.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's focus back on this because Kyle is switch monitors. Burst and nerfed when? Maybe soon. Yeah, I don't want to say the stand-up today. Maybe had a reference to it, but Riot Titan game looks great. Do you know that person?
Yeah, I know that person.
Oh, okay. Shout out. They came for Josh. Forward V8, any plans for 3 or 4 players? As we talked about, it's definitely one of the things that's being discussed, and we know the community is interested. So, yeah, we've heard it. My idea was along the lines of Edwin gets a research that increases fire damage from all units.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is cool.
It fits with these kits so nicely too.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Maybe adds fire damage to Order Knights, while Merrick might get something else.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So having like Merrick maybe have like better health buffs or like temporary, maybe like temporary armor, things like that, or increased armor and stuff to go into that kit. That could be interesting. I mean, God, apply as a game designer.
I keep trying to get our game designers to like give the light bearers an ability that removes like the Death Knight shroud. I just think that it matches the kit so well, but
That's
it's
a really
not
cool
going
idea.
well.
Put it in the community. If I say it comes from the community, I might get
It's true.
Hey, welcome. What does they say? Wither Ed Rose 1. The real question is, will there be horizontal gates in the future though? I mean, the gates work along the grid, you know. Look, honestly, if you're using gates, your street's behind.
I don't know. I think Kyle's gonna have to put some out this game.
Yeah, might need to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, gates are a classic thing where like once you see players, like legit players, you're like, oh, you never use gates. Even like cutting off chokes entirely is like, as you can see here, Kyle, I just wanna focus up. Do you want to explain why you haven't cut off the choke?
Yeah, I guess it's mostly just so I can keep my units running through it. And we're currently pretty low on resources at the moment, so yeah, I might end up actually closing this off a little bit more, so it's just a single grid.
Contradicts me, Kyle. That's second strike. How dare
you? You made me realize an error in my ways. So.
But one of the reasons you might want to do it, I mean, if you are using like melee units a lot, then it's like, it allows your melee units to be able to deal with the front line, but it also means that like,
Out of my way.
you know, blocking off like the nightmares from getting through entirely is, they're kind of going to get through a lot of the time, and having them be like full stops is sort of unlikely. So like funneling them towards a single point, or, you know, having them focus on other areas and having your hero at the front and a bunch of melee units that are like chopping them down, it means you're doing extra damage, but it also means that sort of the nightmares focus is more not just on the buildings, which are going to fall, but means they're focused on your units, which can heal and recover a lot more easily. So you can sort of cycle them in from basically having your units act as walls in a way, walls that can attack and can heal a lot easier. So that's kind of the strategy behind it, and you'll start to see it a lot. And also, once again, it sort of funnels them into more of a single point rather than just sort of attacking at a flat object, which can break. Which is something I learned recently by watching Mario play. This is not, and was very cool. So check out our previous streams as well. Hey, welcome Kincaid878 Have not played the game much, but it's fun. Good job, guys. Yeah, great. Well, to many more hours. Yeah, appreciate you guys saying that. Templars, similar. Amazing job on the game, gang. Is there any ideas of adding new heroes? Once again, is a discussion that is happening internally. Game has been focusing on just like making sure the game's in tippity top shape, which shout out to the 4 hot fixes that came back to back days. Josh, how you feeling?
Yeah, I've had heaps of sleep. It's been really good. Nah, it's been cool. It's been cool to like, how much the community's appreciated like, all the hot fixes and stuff like that. And it's been really good to like get it in a good enough state where like everyone's really happy with it. I think that's like the best thing is like, we also want to be really proud of this. So to like be able to like spend a bit more time and get it like really, really, really crispy, it feels awesome. It feels really, really good.
Yeah, there was a really cool thing that happened on Friday where it's like, so PlaySide's quite a big company, so lots of people work on different games, but there's also lots of people that have worked on AOD over its entire 5-year development that aren't necessarily working on Age of Darkness at the moment. And there were a lot of people that have worked on the game previously That was... Kyle just got absolutely rotted. That was a...
Ooh.
Oh, Kyle, you're so low.
Get out! Oh.
Run.
Alright.
This is why tag teaming can be good. You don't go back in, you're crazy!
I'm not doing anything. Maybe I should come up to you. Alright, we'll come your way.
But there were people like from the team being like, hey, do we need any help coming in? Like, do you guys want any extra hands on the tool? Like, I'll jump back in on the code. I can jump back into testing. And yeah, there were people that, you know, from the team, but even who have been on the team in the past that were like, let's do it, baby. Let's get this game cooking. Like, let's make sure we get stuff out. You know, there is a lot of passion and a lot of desire from the team. That is so cool to see. And there's a lot of people that are just so excited for it to be out, and so much love for the game and dedication. And I think the engineering team, and I mean, it was more than just the engineering team, but the QA team and the engineering team over the weekend and everything being like, let's get these hotfixes out. Let's work. Let's put in moves, and did just an unbelievable job of listening to what people were saying. And thank you so much to everyone in the community who did give feedback on things that were like, hey, like reporting stuff, but I mean, especially people that like gave their crash logs and were like, hey, these are my specs. Like, this is like what I'm happening. Or like when we're asking questions of like, when did this happen exactly? Like, what were you doing in the game? And they're like, this is what was happening. And I think it could be easy for, you know, to have an issue in the game and just be like, grrr. But people being like responsive with the devs, or like with us, and giving that information to the engineers is really, really appreciated. It means a lot, and it helps these issues get resolved.
Oh yeah,
faster.
it helps so much. It's so good having everyone be so nice and supportive and willing to help. And yeah, it's so good. And like, you know, running into weird stuff that we've never seen before, and then like it becomes impossible for us to fix if like you guys aren't helping. And so yeah, the community's been unreal. The community's been so nice, so helpful.
That dreaded, hey, has anyone been able to reproduce this?
Yeah.
No. Just like, cool.
We've got like a billion PCs and stuff too. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Just never lucky sometimes.
Yeah, so like those things can be super, super helpful. Yeah, shout out the community.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about your setup for Death Knight 2?
I think we're okay. I'm getting a couple hunters in now, so we're looking all right. I probably am a bit behind in my research, but that's okay.
No room for cowardice.
How are you looking, Carl?
I think
How you feeling?
I'm a little blocked on the second tier stuff at the moment, but yeah, we'll see.
Oh, can I grab that iron node that you were dying over?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
Because I don't know if I would need too much of that outside of just like some building stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna not build ballistas as well, because I assume that's not allowed for my.
Yeah, does that count? Is he allowed to build ballistas?
Oh yeah, I forgot to discuss the siege. I think, what are they called, flamers? Like the ones that like kind of do close range fire? I think that is like in the same energy as melee.
Yeah.
But I think ballista towers and anything that fires kind of outrange isn't. I know that's a siege unit versus a tower, but that's my take on it. What do you guys think?
All right.
What do you guys think?
Am I allowed to do siege or not?
Yeah,
or flamers? Or...
We can make it work. We can absolutely make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that might need to be done is that little bit of micro of sending Josh resources and having him build stuff and then transferring it back, or not transferring it back, just holding it all together. I think we could also do, maybe you make it but give it to, I guess that's the same thing anyway, because it doesn't really matter who owns it.
Actually, if I could take a bit of iron, that would actually be good. I just need 9 more for the refine workshop, and then I can start building some sentinels.
Take it. Yeah.
How can I?
Is
there a
I just got a point
thing?
of interest, like just north of where you are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that's like 9 iron up there. There's like an iron thing.
Oh sweet. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just up there.
Fine.
Cool. There's a couple unit suggestions which we can go through. Alan's saying like making a light bearer a ranged unit as a suggestion.
Ooh.
Asking why there's any reason for making it a melee unit. I don't know.
I think that's interesting, because I'm not quite sure what like the attack would do if they were ranged, because you can get the flame arrow skill tree, So there's already like the equivalent of like a ranged flame attack, but like apart from Edwin and Nobility, we didn't really have like a flame melee attack. So I think they kind of like hit that niche kind of nicely. But yeah, but also I guess like the staff is also meant to be like the source of where the healing and stuff comes from as well. So like unless she was shooting fireballs as like
Which
her
could
attack,
be cool.
I was gonna say, as I say, it's
Now that
pretty
you've said it,
rad.
now that you've said
That's
it.
pretty good. Can someone get Mario in
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
We've got
Mario.
a bitch.
Sorry, your child is sick. Get in studio.
Alright, I'm gonna try and take this elite thing near my base if you're interested, Kyle. No,
Oh, yeah?
no pressure.
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Mazawi talking about having melee units be able to get inside towers or like I guess mount towers as well. It's an interesting
Ooh,
concept.
Yeah. They like
Yeah.
throw rocks or something.
Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, that would be maybe like an interesting research because there's the one that lights your walls on fire.
Yeah.
Maybe like you get a research where it's like you can go inside the wall and like poke from inside the wall.
Oh, I kind of
Something
like
like that. Yeah, there's interesting things. Similarly, love to see a White Rose saying, Withered Rose saying, I'd love to see a musketeer unit. That'd be a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of
No room for
inventiveness
cowardice.
that can be done with the units.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can certainly play around with that a lot more. So yeah, but like you said, I think the Light Bearer is a really good example of there is kind of interesting, I don't know, diversification within the units and interesting
Yeah,
like takes
absolutely.
and stuff. But I mean, obviously, if you really wanted, you could go absolutely bingo bongo crazy.
Never mind, Kyle.
You just
I got
soloed
it.
that. That was crazy.
Go home, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cyrus for ya.
I love it, but Crunchy Weasel saying, please, you're hurting me with the cultist spam. Cultist spam every day. Every day.
As melee only though, you know, I either got pikemen or sentinels, so I'm just gonna go mass.
Cultist spam's one of my favorite strategies.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I mean, just having like a massive like, but also pikeman meta
That is true.
is maybe something that might pop out a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Crunchy Weasel, you can go, please, you're hurting me with pikeman spam. Build a sentinel, get one.
No dice.
No, Wedman saying helpful. I started to think the suggestions and questions are quite annoying to you. Not at all. No, we love when the community engage. And it's like people are only suggesting
Yeah.
things because they care, like,
Yeah,
and they want
like that.
stuff. And it feels like, I mean, you guys could talk about it more, but
I
Yeah,
love theory crafting like stuff with this game as well. Like our design team have like really had like I feel like a lot of like their philosophy like around designing this game and like the characters and stuff has been like really like opening it up to everyone in the team. Like a lot of like units and units abilities and stuff like that like kind of come from conversations that we have like at desk because someone just comes up and like, what if someone did this?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that's actually a really cool and really interesting idea. And then like discussions start and then like that's how like a lot of this stuff happens. So I love theory crafting ideas like this. This is great.
yeah, and I mean, and throughout the early access, it's like, oh, there was a lot of stuff that was put in the community that not necessarily like was the first time it was ever suggested or whatever, but there are like suggestions from the community that certainly have made their way in the game, either because it was the first time anyone said it, or just because like maybe someone had thought it and then started seeing it in the community and was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, there is a little bit of groundswell for this, bringing up, discussions start to happen. So definitely community suggestions for like game mechanics, loved.
Yeah.
Suggestions on,
absolutely.
hey, this is an issue I'm having, also loved, because it's like, let us know where the game needs to be improved in that area. Yeah, so never going to be annoyed at the community for wanting the game to be
better.
to be better or to have stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, we've all played games, we all get it, and it's like, there's lots of stuff that like, it's fun to play a game and be like, ooh, if I was to make this game, or if I was to like change something, like what would I change? You know, and I don't think there's any like harm in that. And it's like, gaming's one of the unique forms of media, where it's like, you might think that in a book or a movie and a TV show, but you can't really like engage with that. But a game, it's like, if you have an idea, you have something that you think about the game when it comes to design or whatever, it's like, you can suggest it and it might get through, like, or you might be able to like get the community behind you and other people on board, and it might be able to get through. And I think it's like really cool that gaming is sort of like an interactive. That was incredible micro, by the way. The movement on those units was so crisp.
Do you want to watch Tower, Kyle? Should I put one in the top?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Alright, because I put one for me. Oh, we actually don't have enough area for me to put a good one. So I'll sell my other one. And I'll build more on the other side.
Legendary Zero asking if you guys can also like not speak. You guys can speak about your plans at full breath. I feel like there's a sort of like clandestine. Like, oh, we gotta talk. It's like, guys, engage. Talk about what you're doing. You know, say it with your chest.
We're chilling. Actually, Kyle, do you mind if I block this off?
Okay, Josh, there's a level that you need to like reach for the audio that's lower than this. That's too much. That's too much. No, I'm just.
No,
sorry,
block it off.
I'm gonna block it off. Sorry, there was more of a politeness.
I'm also famously awful at like playing a game and talking. Yeah, that's it's something I really need to improve on.
Are we just going to divide and conquer this, or do you need help in your thing? What's the strat here?
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can find another choke point further up. And then yeah,
sick.
We'll see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I got a pretty nasty choke here that I should be able to hold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely come help out you if you need.
Cool.
Oh, he's just out of range.
Is that just at a nightmare thing as well? Damn.
We do have a question here saying, didn't multiplayer itself come from community feedback after EA launch? Talking to Mario, I think, you know, this is one of those games where it was always sort of like, well, what if this was multiplayer? What if there was co-op? But I think it very much became a reality because of how much it was pushed for and asked for by the community. You know, like if people weren't keen for it and asking for it, I don't think it would have become a reality. And it's a really good example of like, yeah, absolutely. Like multiplayer was something that came into fruition because of feedback and desires and wants from the community. I think is a very, very, very fair statement to say. Is the game region locked, or is it a bug making it harder to connect, as me and my friend has a problem as I can't connect to them, but they could connect to me? So yes, when the game first came out, there was more or less region locking. I think that got patched after a day. So if that's still something, post about it in the community, like post in the Discord or on Steam somewhere. The shenanigans of one of you being able to join and one of you not. Interesting iteration of that, but hopefully that's not an issue that you're having anymore. That is definitely an example of something that the engineers and the QA team did an incredible job of getting to. And it's just one of those things where it was like, oh, let's respond to this immediately. So shout out the team for getting onto that very, very fast.
Sorry, I totally forgot you couldn't do ballistas.
Oh yeah, cheers.
So I wasn't building any for Kyle.
That's all right. That's
right.
good then.
I dropped one just in then, but hopefully it's enough.
I'll just wall that off completely, and then I'll just like, I'm gonna delete the walls later to let some of my troops through.
Yeah, cool.
So something that, I mean, Kyle's just hanging out on a death knight, but something that we are seeing from Josh is the opposite of what we talked about before, where it's an all walls map. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Wanting those walls up, it's like, don't want them to be able to get through to, like if you just want to check out the walls quickly so we can see, just up left.
Yeah, I'm hard stacking.
Yeah, hard stacking, really going into that range build, which makes a lot of sense, and there's like one wall falling, which will happen, but if 2 or 3 walls fell during this death knight, I think that'd be...
Oh yeah, no, I expect one to go, yeah.
Yeah, like I would say that's a good number to fall. If they don't get to the towers, I think that's a huge success.
Yeah, absolutely.
But very interesting to see the different way the strategies are welding together and the different play styles. Meanwhile, this has been a cruisy AF death knight for Kyle, who has been upgrading buildings and looking at other things.
Over. we're done.
Sorry, well,
I'm finished mine.
Oh, you've done yours?
Yeah.
Nice.
I speed ran it.
That was, what, did only one tower drop, or did it not even break?
Oh yeah, I let a burster through foolishly.
That's not bad though.
I've split all my troops up into different control things as well, so I get my spearmen going through first.
That's RTS proper. Starting to hotkey up and make sure, and you can see, if you're wondering where that is, right next to the mini-map, you can see the different sort of like which units are connected to which numbers on the keypad, which I like that it's like permanently displayed on the screen in a subtle and nice way. All right, they're gonna get through. Woof! Damn. I knew Cyrus arrived from the ability before I even saw it on the screen. Just that arrow blasting through.
Get a nice surround for that.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be crispy.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think Aurelia's kit is very satisfying from like the way that the enemies die because of the way that like the explosions work and getting to see that little mine go off. The flail is fun, the back and forth, and like getting to see some killed in the first one and some more killed in the second one. I just think it's like really, really like visually pleasing and very satisfying to look at. I think one of my faves is probably Edwin's like sword that just goes. It's so cool to just see like that sort of, I don't know, angled flare of fire come out. And I think the team did an incredible job of those animations. Oh my god, bibbity bop, comments dropped. Alex is a god, shout out. I don't know, shout out to Alex. My. I don't know who that is, but like some people on the team might know. And that guy is a god. I mean, like, I don't want to say god's maybe an undersell and possibly even an insult. And I don't know who commented that, but if they are in connection with my boss, like, give him a raise. Like some people are asking for it. Burst of Violated. I mean, it's good to see a burst get violated. They are often the ones doing the sort of damage. All right. Why don't we talk about... Let's actually go through and what's the mentality.
I'm going to change your heart.
Yeah, well, that's...
It's like the strongest one.
And it's
Nice.
the funnest one. in
It's
my
so
opinion.
good.
We can talk about
Alright.
what change of heart is real quick as well.
Yeah, so it's the one where buildings destroyed by nightmares have a 10% chance to reanimate nearby nightmares as allies for 20 seconds. That was one we were talking about before, where you can just like build walls around crushers and hope that they get converted to your side. It's very funny.
Yeah, it's a sick one. It's awesome, and it's just like having especially when you get a crusher, and you're like, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, baby. Like, take him out. Like, it feels so cool. And I think it's just a really, like, we were talking on a previous stream, Mario was saying, like, oh, there is a little bit of, like, campness in the game. And having, like, oh, units convert to your side is, like, I think, a really good example of that. It's like, yeah, why not? Why not have enemies temporarily on your side for a bit? Like, that's a bit of fun.
Yeah, I love it.
What are you thinking as far as which options you've got?
It's-
Yours are all not fantastic.
Yeah, it's honestly between resourceful or budget carpenter.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure which ones. Do you have a preference,
I
Josh?
think I like budget carpenter better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. That'd be like good for the long run, hey?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
think like, who knows? Like we might get to the point where the game starts to, or there's a lot less enemies around. So that'd be good.
Alright. This is always my least favorite part of the game, where like post Death Knight, you're like, where did I forget to defend? And then like, there's so many nightmares in your base, and it's like, this is me. I've played this game a billion times now. I should have known to absolutely make sure all my corners were lit up, nothing would respawn back in my base.
Let's go through some of these comments. Red and Riot just finished the campaign yesterday. This game is great.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Yeah, a little bit of issues with the text, but hey, it happens. And if you get to that final mission, there's a little bit of a dev Easter egg in the game. Which we will not say more on. But if you're particularly good at using twitter.com, you might be able to find a post on that. Nice game. Thank you, Bravura. Much appreciated. Also, I bought this game because I was just finished playing Diplomacy is Not an Option, and I wanted more.
Oh, nice.
That's a great game. But yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but like, Kyle, I would love to hear your like take on like, this is a game which very much like, I mean, I think Playside, this is true in general, of like, we love games, and when we create games like this, it's like, oh, it's because we love RTSs, and have a lot of like, interest in like how they work and everything like that. So it's like, being inspired by and learning from, and like, oh, this is a thing I love from my favorite RTS game or whatever, is definitely something that's like within the sort of mentality of the companies, like respecting and loving RTS or like whatever we game. Same thing with like Kill Knight. It's like, oh, okay, cool. What do we like from these other sort of shoot 'em ups and twin stick shooters and bullet hells, and learning from that. Do you guys have particular, like, we talked about Kyle being an absolute goat at StarCraft. I think Faker once said, no, that's League. Yeah, do you want to talk about like how you feel about Age of Darkness in compared to, like, in dialogue with other RTSs?
Sorry, what was it?
I
am taking on a massive troop right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
I don't. That was just a test, right? But this is also why I've been like, hey guys, when we do multiplayer, can I just like sit and hang out and chat? Because playing for 2 hours while like trying to commentate and everything, it's really difficult. And it's funny because we've been doing these streams. I think this is like the 10th one or something. Same thing with Kill Knight, and definitely for Age of Darkness. We'd be like, hey, it's really difficult to like play and speak at the same time. And people are like, speak and play. I can do 2 things at once. And they come on the stream and they're like, yeah, it's actually like way more difficult than I thought it would be. But you guys are doing an excellent job.
Kill Knight would be so tough too.
Yeah.
Every time, like, I love Kill Knight, and I really love like that style of game, like the bullet hell, stuff like that. But I like always forget to blink, and so anytime I'm playing these games, like my eyes are watering. So I can't imagine like trying to remember to blink, trying to remember to Kill Knight, as well as like trying to talk as well.
Yeah, I mean, watching Ben, who's QA for Kill Knight, play that game while commentating at the same time, hanging out, and putting up like global bests was like mesmerizing to watch.
Yeah, it's so good.
If you guys are curious, you can watch the Kill Knight launch day dev stream. He comes in the second half. He's been like up all night, just engaging with the game and like making sure that things are like, you know, just on the hype and everything. He's like, oh, I'm a little bit sleepy, tired, and then does level 1, 2, 3, 4 back to back to back on the hardest difficulty and locks in the #1 score in all 4 of those levels. It's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. He came back later and was when we just released the 1.0, 1.2 patch, and was like, there's a thing that like measures your score against like everybody else because it's very leaderboard based. He sits down and gets the second highest score of all time, just being like, I don't know, while like chatting and like hanging out. It's like the craziest thing.
That's nuts. That's so cool.
But Age of Darkness is the game we're here for. But check out Kill Knight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like the drop double resources would pair well with enemies drop resource at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I really like that about like AD as well. Is like there are like some cool synergies and stuff like that, like with the blessings and malices. Yeah, always keeps it really interesting.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool things about multiplayer as well is because each person gets to pick a blessing, you kind of get more blessings in total. Not fully, because like the game length is a little bit different, but there are more blessings. But on top of the blessings, you also get the character synergies.
Yeah.
And there's been like some pretty cool synergies starting to come out. Like there's like kind of 2 ways you can go about it. You can stack or you can pair. I feel like is the 2 strategies. Obviously we're doing, if you don't know, this is a challenge. Kyle is only using melee units. Josh is only using range units. But yeah, like this is much more of a pair where you have melee and then you kind of have one person focusing on that sort of front lining. Oh my god. What someone said before, Cyrus level 7. That was like 10 minutes ago. Just seeing Kyle get to level 5. That is ridiculously fast, level 7. 7 before Death Eye 2 is cranking it. And I just wanted to shout it out because it was appreciated. But I didn't reference it. Yeah, and I think there are some really cool like abilities that work really well together. And when you pair those with the blessings, it's like, oh, we're gonna focus fully on like melee together, and you just are all picking melee blessings and melee builds. I think it really adds a level of sort of like interconnection that's really cool to see and fun to play with. And there's quite a lot of options because when I first found out there was like co-op, I was like, oh, it would make sense. That's like you either picking to play as the Order, to play as the Rebellion, or to play as the Volatis, and you would pick like one of each of the heroes. And it's like, I think that would make sense, but it's such a great, cool choice to be like, no, you can just play any of the 6 heroes.
Yeah.
Like, just do it, whatever. Like, and it really allows for that optionality. I saw some blessings that looked promising together. One blessing that gave increased melee unit damage, then the other blessing that gave enemies killed with splash heal. Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely. Yeah, they kind of came apart like around when we were talking about like, you know, how strong actually is melee and like should they be stronger, and like a lot of that came down to like, well, is there actually like any malices or anything that like kind of like push you towards that? So yeah, the design and one of the engineers at the time, like sat down and came up with like a lot of these cool like synergizing melee malices, like exactly like that. And they feel so good when you get them together. Like they did such a good job of like scheming those up together because they feel awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys can maybe talk a bit more about it, but I think there's definitely that concept like inherent in the game of it's like, what would be cool to go together?
Yeah.
In a way that's like, I think some games can fear, not exploitation, but like wanting everything to feel a bit numb so there's nothing that can be kind of exploited or used, or it's like, oh my god, that's amazing. Because there is a little bit of like RNG, it's hard to get it like every single run. But I think Age of Darkness like has good balance, but also it's like, yeah, if you get crazy cracked combos together and there's certain things in the game that's like are really powerful and strong to do, there is a level of like, if you're good enough to understand on a mechanical level how to do that, how to utilize it, how to enforce it, great, be good at the game. And like if there's stuff that you can do that's like very strong, like great, like just feel good being that good. Like,
Yeah.
I think there can sometimes be like oh, it's too strong, we don't like we want to discourage people from it, and it's like, no, if it makes you feel like a gamer god and you're like, oh my god, I'm sick, I'm crushing it, it's like, feel sick and crushing it. It's
Yeah.
a game, bro. Like, it's not that
reward
deep.
players for like being good at the game.
And caring enough to get like good and learning and like wanting to engage.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff is very much a mentality. And then as we're saying, like, oh, the designer's like sitting down and really like thinking, how can these go together? Very much a mindset. Example CZE, awesome game. Thank you so much. You know, I just want to make sure we shout people out when they shout out us. Very, very much appreciated. Best synergy, Aurelia and Aurelia. Yeah. Yeah, God. I mean, yeah, I think Aurelia is such a cool hero. What are your favorite heroes?
I definitely like Cyrus, and I definitely like Merrick. I like Cyrus just because I feel
Two pretty different heroes.
Yeah. I think Cyrus is like, I don't know, I always feel so strong like as soon as I get like my last ability or whatever. Like,
Do you
I
want to
feel
explain
like,
what the last ability
Oh,
is?
yeah,
Do you want to give it a demonstration?
yeah, hold on, we can push into
Which
the-
nobody else will be able to
Oh
see.
yeah. But anyway.
But I'll see.
I'm doing oh no. Oh no, well, it's glad no
You
one could
okay?
see because I misclicked 20 times.
Oh no! Oh
and
my god,
everyone
that was the
everything.
greatest use of it ever. Oh my god, clip it! Someone in the chat, clip it.
Everyone's dead. It was a massacre.
yeah. I actually got a message on screen that said, "Whoa, what a gamer god!"
I got an achievement for like most damage done with it. It was very good. It was very good. But it's just like a really big like AoE constant damage, does like a bunch of shred damage as well.
Shred damage goes through armor. Certain units will have like armor, and basically you have to get rid of that to be able to deal direct damage to them.
Yeah.
Which like most of those units come in the later game, so having it as the last ability that you unlock makes sense. Oh my god, game designers.
It's happening. So that's why I like Cyrus, and then I like Merrick. Is I feel like he's really like combo-y. Like I feel like all these like abilities like synergize really well, and there's like kind of almost like MOBA style like combos that you can do with him, which like I play like a bunch of League of Legends, so like I really appreciate, you know, just being able to like roll my fingers down the keyboard and like cool things happening. So Merrick hits that so nicely, which I think is really fun. What about you, Kyle? Who do you mostly play?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say, Kyle, we can chill. You're playing at like such a high level. You're crushing like take a breather. Sometimes I'll see
We're
Josh
so
and he's like,
far ahead. Like, it's
and he's hanging out. Kyle's like,
we're
I am
chilling.
locked in. But I mean, it
My
is.
man doesn't want to lose.
No. He's like, I will play this as if this is 8.8 difficulty nightmare. Like, we're gonna be set up.
I think like heroes wise, I'm definitely more like I don't know. I always love playing like the big bad sort of thing in any sort of game. So yeah, Aurelia, Visago are sort of my go-tos. But yeah, but any other games I play, like I've been playing a lot of StarCraft and like also like some Dark Crusade recently as well.
Dark Crusade.
Yeah,
I'll go to
old.
Bing.com real quick.
It's
okay.
yeah, it's like I looked it up because I remember playing it as a kid, and it's like an 18-year-old game or something. It's
The Dark
yeah.
Crusade is a 1961 thriller novel by Scottish author Austin Flint.
That's the one.
And you've been
That's the
playing
one.
that like
Exactly.
a fiddle.
Yeah. But yeah, like just with the whole like I've had my whole Warhammer like hype reinvigorated by some of the recent
nice.
videos and stuff that came out in that universe. So yeah, been playing a lot of that. But yeah, always playing like orcs or like Necrons, Tyranids, like always the bad guys.
What's that game? Oh my god, it's not Total War. Okay,
It might be Total War.
no, not Total War. It's like a full map. It's like fantasy. It's a Total War game. I can't remember what it's called. Oh my god, this is such a bad story. When I start with, I don't remember what this game is called. You guys keep talking while I look up this game. Oh my god, what's it called? Total War.
Kyle, are you doing the the Dark Crusade comp the internal comp we're running?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, nice.
I'm hoping to not die and be in the losers bracket for that. So-
I live in the losers bracket.
Yeah, one of the cool things that we do at Playside is these like little tournaments, and it is something I would love to get streams of. Like it's one of those things where it's a bit more complex, and it's like for me it's that balance of like how do I not take away from the tournament aspects and like just let it be what it is without making like too many demands of like, hey, can we like reorient the tournament to be like this? But I think that would be so sick to sort of stream that stuff and get commentators and things. Like did a melee tournament recently, and I think it'd be so fun to have, you know, just actual commentators sit down and do a melee tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. The Smash ones that we have too, they pop off. Like we got some really talented Smash players here.
Yeah.
So like the Smash quality competition is always so high. And I think Smash is like one of those games too where you're like, oh, I'm pretty good because like you can beat your friends. And then you like come to like a video game studio and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And then you play people that are like actually good and you just get absolutely steamrolled.
Like everyone here was that friend that was really good.
That was me. I was that friend. I absolutely came into my first comp being like, this is going to be so free. Like I can just like run a mark, and I got rolled. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. There's like, I would say like everyone at this company is like really, really, really good at least like one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got their game.
Even people that it's like, even the roles that aren't necessarily like super like related to like game design or engineering or whatever, it's like even like on the marketing team, people be like, yeah, I have like thousands of hours in this game. Like, you know, like everyone's a freak. Like, my boss, Michael, likes to say this, but he recently became the #1 ranked Diablo 2 barbarian
Really?
in hardcore
Whoa.
mode. Which is like
Really?
really, really ridiculous. I don't know if he's still around, Michael, but yes. And he's like, one of my goals currently is I'm getting really back into like playing Pokemon. And he's like, yeah, I've been like cranking it. And he's like building a team. And he's like, my goal is to become #1 ranked in the world.
Oh my god.
And it's like when the head of marketing is like low-key cooked at like Diablo, and then it's like time to dust off Pokemon. It's like I think that is like the really cool thing about Playside. It's like everyone has like played tens of thousands of hours of games, and you'll like talk to someone and they'll be like, yeah, I love this genre, I love this thing, and they're like ridiculous at it. And it's like even people who haven't like played Melee say, you'll like they'll get on the sticks and they'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. And it's so fun to just be surrounded by like that level of enthusiasm every day. And you know, people will, like on their break will just, oh, we can get in a game of League, you know.
Yeah,
oh, it was 30 minutes. get a second game of League.
That's me every lunch break. I got a really nice 5-stack that we play every lunch break together, and every that it's like, oh, we like absolutely crushed it today. Yeah, we got time for an A round.
Yeah,
we got time for an A round.
I just want to hit these comments. We've just been slapping the old gas bag for too long. Quite a few first-time chatters dropping in. Pisidian, maybe? Can we make the multiplayer longer? Yeah, this is something that we've talked about. I've referenced it a little bit on the stream. This is something that we've been hearing from the community a lot. There is a way to customize so you can get more days in between death nights, but we are hearing that people want more death nights, and it is something that's been recognized by the team and discussed. So that's what I'll say on that. Braversky, thanks for the good game. No, thank you for playing. Oh my god, favorite chatter of all time coming through. Best game of the century. And I don't even have thumbs. Oh, well, I guess that's an infinite thumbs up then. Thank you so much. That's quite the compliment. And finally, someone who gets it. If everyone else takes notes, please. Hello, Angelo Trauma. Just saying, hey, what's up? Finally, we got They Are Billions with co-op mode. Ooh. But yeah, shout out They Are Billions. Great game. But yeah, no, I mean, it is one of those things where people are like, what if They Are Billions had co-op? And they haven't done that. And our community was like, what if Age of Darkness had co-op? And we were like, all right. And here it is. So, yeah. But shout out to Age of Billions. They Are Billions, very much so.
I got 2 Sentinels from a point of interest, so I guess I'm just running them in. Staying loyal to the challenge.
And yeah, that is very loyal to the challenge. Once again, if you are just joining, we are doing a challenge where Kyle is playing Aurelia, can only use melee units. That's why they have this ridiculous melee only setup. And Josh can only use range units, which we've also applied to like Siege and things like that. So Kyle also can't place Ballista Towers or use Siege. So it has to be quite a bit of communication there. But I mean, the first 2 Death Knights have gone pretty well.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty smooth so far.
And I would say like haven't had any like, oh no, that's gone back, and then being in a resource hole and like, needed to like get out and being like, ugh, this choke is now dead. We're gonna have to entirely rebuild it for the final stand when that comes. Like it's been pretty smooth sailing across the board, and I think we're very, very much setting up for a victory. Definitely go back and watch the launch day dev stream. That was a game where it was so close. Every death night was like really tightly fought. And this has been a bit more chill, I think. This has been a bit more optimistic and positive. But yeah, I think that's on the channel. It's also on our YouTube and everything. So check that out if you haven't seen that already. Thank you, Alan, for joining. I'm going to retire. I'm going to go to sleep. Have work in a few hours. All-nighter, baby. No, go to sleep. Hope to sleep and wake up with Merrick being the best hero in the game. I'm not gonna say never. I'm gonna say it's possible that we push through a hot fix in the next 3 hours, which buffs Merrick to the 9s. I'm saying like it's a possibility. I don't want to rule it out. God Sentinels game failed. Yeah, delete those Sentinels. Get them out of here. No. Yeah, I mean the challenge maybe failed just a little bit, but hey. Who's keeping us honest? Well, I guess you are, so shut up. Crunchy Weasels, did he say Merrick buffs? I mean, someone said it. Don't tell the designers I said that, because they might be like,
Stop telling people there's buffs on the way.
Yeah. The @Alex in the Slack channel, hey, when we talk to the community, can we make sure X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, very much noted. Best game of the age? As in to say best, yeah. I think that's a bold call, but we very much appreciate it. And yeah, shout out Age of Empires and all of their games. I mean, I would say like, how many people on the team do you think Age of Empires was their first experience with RTS?
Oh, it definitely was mine.
Yeah,
like
a lot.
Everyone?
Yeah, and so I think a lot of the team is like of the generation of like Age of Darkness in the cereal. Oh, sorry, Age of Empires in the cereal box. So
Yes.
like we
True.
all played so much Age of Empires.
I didn't grow up with a PC, but like my cousins did, and they live quite close,
Yeah.
and they got their cereal box. Well, I got in a cereal box, and I gave it to them, and I would like go over and play, and I clearly liked it more than they did. So we're like, I'd be like, hey, can I come over? And they're like, yeah. And then I would be like, hey, I want to play Age of Empires. But they were like playing it when I went around, so they're like, no, we've played it.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I was, I mean, that was also a really fun game for like allowing cheats.
Yeah.
And one of the best things to do, in my opinion, is like there was a cheat. I can't remember what it was exactly. It feels like it's percolating in my brain of literally what it was, the exact wording for it. But there was a cheat that lets you basically spawn a car that had rocket launchers.
Yep.
And it's like you could spawn like a couple like real quick, and we would like do speed runs to see how fast we could take out all the other all the other empires in the game, and try to do like sub 2 minutes. Like,
That is a speed run, my god.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous 7-year-old me lore right there. Of what me and my cousins used to get up to. Similar thing with like putting max sliders on FIFA amateur difficulty and just seeing how much you can like romp the CPU.
Yeah.
Very, very stupid. Fun for a bit. Also trying to use a Also trying to use a triage tent with a Aurelia. Dark Fury. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a cursed combo, honestly. It feels like Aurelia doesn't deserve to let her units heal in that way, but... That's not lore accurate, should get a bazaar for your barracks. Do one of you know how the bazaar?
True, I don't. Actually,
I also don't. It's what I forget every time.
Well, thank you for the call out. Yeah, drop
thank
a
you.
bazaar. A bazaar's really good, and especially in multiplayer, bazaars are great because they let you trade resources between your other player, and that's really good. Especially in a mode like this, where it's like you're doing a challenge where, you know, one of you is only going to use certain types of things, certain types of units. Being able to trade certain types of resources can be very beneficial. Something Yuta was doing a lot with Mario is constantly giving him golds. So like, if
Where's my gold? No.
Yeah.
Give the gold to the carry.
Yeah, get HR wasn't giving gold during multiplayer. But yeah, like I think it's really, really cool because if you are like getting a friend into the game, and we've seen a lot of people that are being like, oh, I've loved this game. Also, the game is a 65% discount, so if you don't own a copy, that's going to be going to the end of RTS Fest, which I think is another week, until Monday or something like that, the 27th, so another 4 days. Yeah, the game's going to be on 65% discount for another 4 days. So if you want to get a friend involved, or you like have people you want to play with, family members, spouses, people like that, yeah, definitely now's the time to do it. 65% discount is delicioso, and it makes it a lot easier to convince someone to dive in a multiplayer game. And when they are in and they're a scrub and you're goated, being able to build that bazaar and trade them resources really helps to sort of equalize and make sure that the game feels sort of more partnered together. Bada beam, bada boom. Crunchy Weasel. No, not the cultist spam, please. Crunchy Weasel, you need to get on board. It's happening. It's here. And
It's the only way.
It's thriving. No, there are other ways, but we're doing it. Look harder. Don't even blink.
As a non-melee player, I'm like, no, that seems like the only way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that sounds right.
Paiku?
Yeah, I mean, you know, look at all these pikemen. They're doing the job.
Yeah, I mean, there is pikeman spam as well. One little sentinel hanging out. Do you guys prefer plus 50% range damage or fire damage for final wave defense?
Yeah, I toss up on this all the time. I think it has to be fire. I think like having the fire for the bursters is just worth so much more. But I don't know, maybe it depends. Maybe it depends like if you play order, like, because I guess like oh no, because it's catapults that they get. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I'm not very good either, so what I think is good is probably wrong.
As someone who doesn't know the game at all, let me give you my unsolicited advice. I personally like range damage, and it is also because I'm not very good. Not good enough to really like capitalize on making enough units that use fire. Like I often do quite a little bit of like just range spam more or less. So that's my take on it. So like if you are new to the game, that's probably what I would suggest. Just because it is like more user friendly. Like you're more likely to be doing that, especially because like siege units and stuff. If you're playing those lower difficulties, you know, you probably aren't getting the resources up fast enough and moving through the tech tree fast enough to be building a lot of siege units to get there to warrant it. So that's my take as someone who's totally fine at Age of Darkness. But as someone who's absolutely elite at RTS, what's your take, Kyle?
Sorry, also was lost just now.
What's the strat here, Kyle?
The strat?
What are we thinking?
Well, I think...
I'm getting a watchtower for the one up north to see where that's going to go.
I'm pretty sure this one down here is going to go through that choke point, like straight at the bottom. So I'm going to upgrade these ones.
Oh, I didn't get a path?
Oh,
so it's
no.
not going that way. It must be going here.
Saying that because the pathing, when you put a watchtower down, it'll do like if it's in the correct quarter of the map, it'll dictate.
Yeah, as long
because
as
it's not
like the range is within like it gives you like a range of where it'll show you the path, and so like if you don't get like the indicator, then your range probably isn't where it's gonna go.
I'll chuck one at the bottom anyway, and we'll see.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go where you've got like this one tower and 4 walls.
Cool. Alright. I got a sizable force up here, but I wanna quickly try to get some of the... oh, not that. I wanna get this. I just wanna make sure that we don't lose any ground that we've made up here.
Room for cowardice.
Me and my friend had a very good co-op match, map earlier today, where there was a tree line and water splitting us down the middle, having to take out a treasure and an elite to be able to help get to the other side. That's kind of fun being split off from each other because the keeps are like pretty close together. Like most of the time you can just like walk over straight at the beginning. So having like not just like kind of a tree line splitting the two of you, but having a straight up elite in the middle. Did you guys like go for it straight away, or like you just like, all right, minute 1, let's try to take out this elite? Like, how did you guys tackle that? Did you like how far into the game did you approach that? Because that's a treacherous thing to be faced with straight off the bat.
Yeah, there is a path going right through the bottom here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where that second one's coming
put
from.
Put a ballista like here. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
put
yeah,
multiple of you if you want as well.
I don't know if
like,
you've
do we
got
know
enough money.
where's the second path coming from?
I'm going. I mean, you can look on my screen here. Is where I'm guessing because I put a
Right.
watchtower here. And I
Okay.
didn't
Yeah, if
get
you guys want
any
to
hits.
pause, you can.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It should be fine.
How dare I even suggest? Oh my god, take away my gamer bona fide. Catapults for order are so good.
Yeah.
Very, very real. And yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about the different factions is which they lean into different units, more or less. Like, you know, they give you advantages and buffs on certain unit types. So like, you know, the order being more focused around, not focused around, but, you know, having the ability to increase siege and stuff like that. Rebels being sort of ranged in certain areas and you know, cultist spam all day with the Volatist. I think it's nice, and it like encourages you to play in different ways, and it makes sort of playing the different factions feel really unique from each other. And then the fact that there's 2 heroes for each, which each have their own play style, I think it's really cool. But yes, you're right. Catapults are ridiculously good on the order. Very fun to play with as well. And getting like a siege build really going, because obviously it's quite hard to get up and running because it's like, if that mine lives, I would be surprised.
I got faith.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. All right, did I build in the right spot?
Fingers crossed.
And neither of you guys had a ton of resources.
Oh, I did.
Okay,
Nice.
that's good.
We're
Yeah.
chilling.
That's a little bit of a gamble though. All right,
Educated guess.
Let's focus on what's going on. So we got these 2 different things. We've got this like very melee centric setup down here. As we can see, as we kind of talked a little bit about before, having the path and having tier 3 walls is really good. So those walls are not going to fall with any.
Hey Kyle, can you do me a favor quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Can you sell these walls?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And here we have a very different style, which is
thank you.
multiple siege units, multiple ballistas. There's no path through. It's got 2 lines of 2 tier 3 walls, very much blocking off. Oh, you did cut that off. That one ballista is going to do work.
Yeah, a little bit of work. We'll see. I want to try to get as much of a pool of units in here as possible so that I can start popping off Aurelia's ability.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. How you doing?
I messed up. I accidentally bought iron instead of stone because I wanted to set you up with some towers.
But look how much.
I pressed the wrong
280, 300
Yeah,
iron,
no,
loving
we'll
it.
We'll just cash out some iron.
Well, you may as well give it to Kyle.
Do you need a car?
Need what?
He doesn't need it, but he's only got 11 iron currently.
I answer to no.
Or where's our special little guy?
Special little guy. Here we go. Yeah, and even though Aurelia is like a very is like a melee unit, it is nice that was beautiful. That was very nicely done. It is nice that sort of crystal can hit a little bit of range. So if you're standing up, whoa! That Crusher put in work. Hopefully we see the change of heart ability come online. But that Crusher got rinsed pretty fast. That's good. I mean, the Crushers are by far the biggest threat.
Whoa.
Getting them taken out early.
A lot of bursters coming in.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I assume you've already done, but is like a really good tip for new players and newer players, is making sure that your like units and especially your towers are on like take out strongest unit first. Because they'll make sure they take out bursters, make sure they take out crushers, make sure they prioritize those like particularly big damaging enemies. And while they're attacking those enemies, because they like basically every bit of damage in the game does AoE to a certain degree, but especially towers, like they will also do damage to the smaller units around them. So instead of targeting closest, you're targeting the biggest threats and still managing to get to do damage to other people as well. So that's a really good tip that I thought of all by myself, which I am giving to you guys. This has been another fairly cruisy Death Knight. I mean, it's definitely more treacherous than the first 2. I would say.
Yeah, this one felt a little scarier, but
Yeah,
I think we're okay.
The walls and melees are definitely dropping a bit. Josh, you're up top. The sort of the melee crystal, more of a threat, but that's going to be the nature when you don't have any ranged units to sort of help, which is usually going to be the bulk of your defense. But I think you're doing a really good job. This Crusher is going to be.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Why don't I send Cyrus over?
But hopefully it gets done quick. Got flailed. Flailed did good. Oof. A lot lost all of those pikes. Coltis spam. Here we go, baby. Got bapped and about to probably all drop to second Crusher fists. Hopefully they don't actually happen. Well, there they go. Okay, so just probably lost about 40 units in the span of 20 seconds. Now just a hero. Yeah, I would definitely suggest sending some units over, Josh.
Cyrus is coming.
Oh, Cyrus is coming.
He's coming.
And Cyrus is notoriously known for his agility.
On his way 2 days later.
Yeah, so some of the lore behind that is like Cyrus gets injured and has like a limp. But some of the sort of like game balancing behind Cyrus being so slow is because Cyrus is like a range hero that does like incredible damage and things like that. Having them be slow means that they can get overwhelmed, right? You can see Cyrus limping on in and Aurelia just sprinting. It does give you that sort of threat of it's like, no, you want someone like Aurelia to go in fast and then back out as they're doing right now. And like Cyrus, like if they get close and there is like a lot of units up on them, there should be a punish. Like they shouldn't just be able to like sprint around, pop people off, and then like do whatever. It's like, no. Like if you allow Cyrus to get too close to people or like stay in combat as they get closer and closer, there should be that sort of punish or that threat. And that's kind of the theory behind.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no, never mind. I was
No,
going to
I'm
ask
just
if your second Crusher had come. And
Yeah,
then
it is
popped
now.
up there.
Yeah.
I was trying to decide whether or not to ult like before, or save if you had a second Crusher or not. But we're fine.
Definitely more treacherous of a night.
Are you still up?
Yeah, I thought they dropped as well.
there we go.
There we go. Never in doubt. Caltrope's coming in. Maybe one of my like low-key favorite abilities.
Yeah. like a little bit of area control.
A little bit of area control, but I also like the way it's like you can just like throw them into groups.
Yeah.
And also like I don't know if they last forever,
No.
but like they last a while.
Yeah, definitely. And sound is so nice on them too. I really like the sounds.
Oh,
what are we
I'm
totally
totally going for 2 for 1.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Blood of My Enemy for you. When an enemy is slain, gain 10% chance to spawn burst a heal. I think we need that for you.
Yeah,
right?
that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And
And look what's survived over the night.
Yeah,
Gold.
Big.
I'm actually shocked. But putting out what are they called? Light towers? What is their exact name? The fire towers?
Fire towers.
Fire
yeah.
towers, that's right. Yeah, like should mean that no nightmares spawn there.
Oh,
and
Josh is
Yeah. it's
Josh
alright.
is feeling it.
We're pushing up.
and
We'll
yes,
come back out.
exactly what I was gonna say is that's the threat of having like random nightmares come in, and that's why I was like, oh, the mine's not long for this world. The watchtower should help with that a little, but yeah, nightmares do make their way into your like base and your backline, and you know, make sure you kind of constantly need to be upgrading stuff. But I think I really like it as a mechanic because one of the things that it like rewards, I guess, or like makes feel good is that like because the natural sort of operation of the game on how you're building outwards is it's like you're going to do it more immediate like Death Knight 1 and then more like on Death Knight 2 and more on Death Knight 3. Like you kind of do have these like ballistas and tower setups like sprinkled throughout your base. And it does mean like that kind of when they weave in, it's like you don't necessarily want to delete those because in the final stand, especially as they get closer and closer, you know, like that might be a fallback line. You might need to delete some of them that are particularly useless or just not particularly as valuable anymore if you need the resources and really want to like push towards defending certain fronts. But it means that like, oh, if you do have a ballista like next to something important, when those pesky nightmares do sort of make their way through, it's like, oh, okay, it's still doing something even though the original purpose, which was like defending a Death Knight, is gone. It still kind of will situationally have value. So it means that it doesn't feel, oh, all the stuff I just did for Death Knight 1 is now redundant. Yeah. And the other thing that reinforces that is that like the general way that the crystals work out, if you don't know, is it's like in multiplayer, there's 5 crystals. And say you're playing single player, Death Knight 1, you verse 1 crystal. Death Knight 2, you verse the next crystal. So on and so forth. And then in the final stand, all 5 crystals attack you at once. It means those setups and those chokes that you defended, that you set up on the different Death Knights, will come back and are very much reinforced, which I think is a really cool design. Like, you'll go back and you'll look at your like first Death Knight setup and you're like, ugh. 1 ballista tower and 2 archer towers, like
That's not gonna hold.
Yeah, tier 1 walls, like yikesy, I need to put the work in here. Hey Leo Lisk, welcome to the chat. This is so weird seeing a melee heavy army. I'm still using my same playstyle from like 3-4 years ago with my melee hero and all ranged. I mean that's
Yep.
that still works.
Yeah, 100%. The all melee is definitely weird. Like usually when I play, I go just oh no.
Uh,
I think we had a bit of a crash.
That's alright, sometimes it happens. Send and restart. Josh, you can walk over to your PC. Look at the log.
So yeah, actively looking at the call stack, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Alright, we'll just load back into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, these things happen. And if we get to do that Death Knight again. Double crash, you love to see it.
Oh yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, let's just crank up the game again.
Oh, I should have done restart. Hey.
That's alright. Cool, we'll jump back in a sec. I mean, well, let's like go through these questions. Yeah, as you were saying, like, how have you been finding using a full melee army?
It's been really tough, like even just not being able to use siege or any like ballista towers as well. Oh, did that not work?
I think it's just patching real quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like all means of defense is sort of like in Josh's hands at the moment. So it's and that's sort of why I'm just going all pikemen, trying to keep that distance a bit more. But even then, I'm trying to leave as much steel to Josh as possible. So like trying to build up sentinels as like a front line has been pretty rough as well. But yeah, we'll see how we go. The last Death Knight's gonna be interesting. I think it's
I
like
don't know how we're gonna go.
yeah, we'll see.
I feel like we were chilling for a while, and now I
but
feel
we
like
chilled
we're
a
really
little bit
far
too
behind.
long. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I usually love going like Arbalest as sort of the go-to for when I play.
Yeah, what are your favorite units?
Oh,
I should. Yeah. Okay.
oh sweet. Favorite units? Yeah, Arbalest would be like the go-to. But if I'm playing,
Do you want to explain why?
just like the high amount of damage and like I don't mind the slow rate of fire as long as you have enough of them. You can keep like a pretty constant stream going, and you can also just like really target like some of those super like tough units, like any elite nightmares or the crushers as well.
Yeah,
See.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Arbalest fan. I mean, how have you been doing on your range only?
It's fine. It's exactly how I normally play. So this was a perfect setup for me. All right, what did we say?
Oh, I got a different set.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
I think
two-
we just swapped.
We just switched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we did Blood
Yeah,
of My
Blood of
Enemy.
My Enemy, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hilarious thing that the game switched it.
Yeah.
It makes no difference because you can just pick whatever, but it's like, and you'll both get the blessings. But yeah, we're back. How are we feeling in this 10-minute setup? Okay, so we've got 10 minutes to the final stand. What are we thinking?
Yeah.
What do we think needs improved?
I need more stone income so bad.
25 stones. There's one right there.
Yeah, I'm pushing to that now.
You know what? I'll send some to you now.
Yeah, these are not high
Oh, thank you so much.
stone. 25, and if you get Quora in that other one, you're probably looking at about 43. It's going to be my guess, and what it's going to
Yeah.
land on. Something like, oh, maybe more than that actually, but
It's not looking great.
it's not looking great. Is there any other like big stone nodes on the map?
I think there is.
There's
I
a
think
big
I've-
chunk up here
Yeah.
that I used to have vision over, but I'll try to work my way towards it.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm gonna push back out here. I probably need another farm, and then get stone, and then probably gonna have to just spend the rest of the time just getting big ballista towers, the grand ballista towers out, and then probably just have to grab a bunch of hunters for pen for the crushers,
Yep. Fair.
and not a lot of time to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's one of the things that I think is like great about this game is it's like that sense of tension,
Yeah.
that sense of like, oh my god, it's coming. I'm a habitual pauser, which is like almost sacrilege. And I dearly apologize for being this way. But like it is one of the things that I think is really nice, especially when you're learning the game. And it's like you just do need that second to be like, let me breathe, let me think,
Yeah.
let me understand, let me evaluate what's going on.
Check back in with my resources, like where
Yeah.
am I at, like do I need to spend, should I be going to my trade?
Yeah, or like, you know, let me scan the map. Let me see if there's something I've like accidentally neglected. Let me spend 1 minute just like looking over my empire. Because there might be something that you've like put it down 45 minutes ago, an hour ago. If you're doing single player, it could be like hours ago you put it down. And you're like, oh, I forgot that was there. And it's like, I didn't even realize Nightmare destroyed this iron node. And that's why my irons drops 11. I need to
Yeah.
get that back online. And you know, that stuff can take a bit of time. But I also think there is a lot of fun of just playing through. And just like having that like real time strategy aspect to it. But I do like that it sort of caters to both. And it's cool, like, if you are kind of on that, like, oh, I want to make sure I play that real time. Like, there's a hardship, which you can pick at the beginning of the game, which is like, no, you can't pause. And the higher difficulties, like, lean into that real time strategy. So it's like, yeah, like, it's one of those things where, like, I know people are like, oh, if it's in the game, I can't put that restriction on myself, right? Like, oh, if I can pause, I will pause if I need to. Or, like, I don't want to, but like I can't help myself. And I do like that it's like, okay, if you really need the restriction, put the hardship on. The game will reward you with more score and more like, you know, cool points at the end. And it'll kind of make you have that feeling with that sense of accomplishment and pride. Let's go through some of these comments. Should be able to make burning bellows towards for melee tower. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before. Of like, what would we allow siege wise and range units wise? Do you think you'll make a burning bellows tower?
I could, yeah. I've been holding off on it, thinking that wasn't allowed, but I'll go for it.
Yes, Kyle, please.
Anything.
Look, if the chat's saying we should do it, I think
Alright.
I think that's kind of, and I mean, we don't want to restrict you too much because it's like range is not just the units, but it gets all the towers and the siege and stuff. So I think giving you that as a way to sort of, get that little bit of extra boost, which we might need on this on this final stand. It's looking a little bit treacherous. 5:43, counting down.
All right.
You managed to get. Oh, you found 3 nodes. That's really good.
Yeah, we're doing
Nice.
okay.
Up to 58 stone.
We also need to reinforce this spot here.
Yeah, that Death Knight 1 spot is a bit lacking. I would say the Death Knight 3 spots were much more set up than their sort of other counterparts, but also like have been kind of reinforced back up. It's not. Is that a Death Knight 2 spot? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Death Knight 2's gonna be a challenge. I mean, we could also look and see if there's any like mutual chokes closer together. Like, remember, like
That's true. We
like
could
that
always
theoretically would be a choke, but it's not just in the open. So the answer is no, because it's like sometimes the crystals will like join together, and their pathing means like, they'll have their sort of prominent choke like further up, but then the fallback choke is together, and it can be smart to be like, hey, I don't have the time or like the resources to invest. Oh, that's sound design. Yum 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 yum. Shout out the sound design team who sit behind us. And by behind us I mean just outside, and we are in their beautiful audio booth. And thank you for letting me stream in this booth. I love you, audio team. Except for one of you. No, I'm just kidding. Just starting beef with people at the company. I've built up too much goodwill. I need to chip it away. So I started with Edwin. Edwin's my personal favorite hero. I love Edwin. I mean, like there is a level of like, oh, it's the original, but it's like there was also just that like the game was designed primarily with one hero who originally used to have a bucket on like their head. I don't know what like.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
That might be some secret lore that I don't know.
Yeah, basically like there was originally it was like a faceless, maskless hero, and they had like a helmet on. I think not a bucket, a helmet. I don't know why I couldn't think. I was like, what's a metal bucket for like fighting? Adoy. So used to have a helmet, and then there wasn't really going to be any like characters or laws or anything. And at some point, like people were just asking like, ooh, what's the deal with this guy? And they took the helmet off, and then they started creating lore. Oh no, Mario said the way Edwin came in is that just before I think the early access like build went out live, in the back end he like put in Edwin as a name, like Edwin's full name. And then people were like, "Oh, what's this? Like, he's got a name. Like, what's the lore behind this character?" Oh. And that's how characters came to be, and like multiple other heroes came to be kind of off the back of that, and things like that. So Edwin kind of was very much, the game was designed around that play style, and you can feel it. I think like Edwin just feels so good to play. And is so good. Anyway, there's my diatribe about Edwin and how much I love him and how he's my favorite. Silver Fox Daddy as well, which we love. So I started with Edwin, and I'm sure this is because I don't know how to use them, but every time I try and branch out and try a new hero, it seems like they pale in comparison to the ability clear huge swaths of territory, running in, kiting a huge group of mobs, exploding them, doing the cone thing on any remaining. Okay, well that very much ties in with what I was saying.
I just got a ton of siege units, so
yeah, I was wondering when they popped up.
Yeah, I just took the camp, so my apologies.
Because if there's any for me, I want them.
At the bottom.
Yeah, those are good to use siege units wise. They're close range siege. Oh, they do fire.
They do fire quite a range.
Yeah, I forgot they had not just the fire. That's on me. I think you might need to suicide those, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll send them off into the
abyss.
Yeah,
well, I think the reason like Edwin is very user friendly. Like, and sort of as I mentioned, because Edwin's sort of designed key, it's like when you pick up the game and start, like a lot of the game makes sense with Edwin. It's very like good to use, and I think all the other heroes like Cyrus is really strong, Aurelia's really strong, but they do take an understanding of how to use them, and they like do take like different mentalities. So if you've sort of just launched into the game, I think they do take time to learn, but they are good as well. New hotfixes live, yeah, baby. Shout out the team for getting 5 hotfixes out in a week. It's crazy work. So big shout out the team.
Watch my back.
The hotfix is focused around saves, which is good. So just in curious. Oh my god, it's approaching.
No.
So we have 1 minute. Let's focus up. Oh, there's a couple other comments. Let me just read these quickly. Hey, then the doc name Ors. It's German, I apologize. Been playing with your brother. That's so good to hear that you're having an awesome time. Cyrus is my fave. Yeah, Rain, that's an excellent call as well. That's what Josh was saying before. But let's focus in. Death Knight, how are we feeling?
Not good.
Yeah, not good at all.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what are we feeling?
We are
3.
A hero has
I'm
fallen.
pretty sure Riley just died. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I just lost my whole army just now. So, yeah.
Oh no.
No good.
Oh no. Oh no. It's fine.
Losing your hero and your army.
It's fine.
Can you revive?
Can at some point.
We could.
Like, is it worth? Like, it's...
Yeah, as soon as...
I think it's probably worth...
Yeah. Why not?
Like, you're not going to use that Dark Essence necessarily.
Yeah.
If you don't have, like, another army to hold down, like, I think Aurelia getting into the mix.
My army is not that sizable either right now. So.
No,
Yeah.
I've spread mine pretty thin to...
Yeah, and it's like this choke particularly needs an army. Like it's designed to hold around melee, so need definitely something there. My confidence is 3 out of 10, I believe. You know what? I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. Change of Heart Crusher procs is gonna happen. Change of Heart's gonna,
true?
it's gonna come in, and it's gonna
you've
happen
convinced
every
me.
single time. It's gonna be good.
It's wooden
We've
walls
already
everywhere.
dropped from 6.5 to 5,000. That's pretty good. But I think this is really going to come down to crushes. Like, as a lot of games do, it's like if you can kill them early and get them down early, like that can be massive. But this choke's holding off like decently well. Kind of doing work. The ballistas are kind of like shooting and everything, which are good. Looking at Josh's choke, that choke is way too fortified, I'm gonna say.
That one should hold for a little bit.
That one should hold entirely.
That one
like,
should hold for a little bit.
It's got 3 lines of tier 3 walls, which are really good with multiple ballistas behind.
This one's kind of...
Guys, we're already down to
done.
3,000.
No, guys, we're so chill.
We're so chill. To the haters that didn't say 10 out of 10.
To the players that didn't say 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Absolutely banned. Yeah, I mean, honestly, kind of cruising.
There's a whole wave up here that hasn't been touched, but it's
Guys, we're chilling.
Oh, look at all those nightmares switching over as well.
Are there no crushes on normal? Oh, there we go. We're too locked into playing on higher difficulty. We're expecting more. Crunchy Weasel, knowing the code better than us. Yeah, guys, this is chilling. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. Guys, start deleting walls. We need more treachery.
We need more change of
I need
heart,
the
bro.
clips for social media. Can I actually get some? Can I get some more fight or flight? Send Aurelia out. Delete that wall. Put him into the danger zone.
Oh, it was actually so fun.
Yeah, Death Knight 3 was definitely the speckiest
Yeah.
of them.
Should we put crushes in this final stand?
No.
From a balancing perspective?
Both of you guys have well over
feel
100
like-
hours and are advanced players. We can't. We can't put crushes on normal. We got to give people a chance. We got to people.
one's
There's
fine.
3 higher difficulties than this. Like,
That's true.
We gotta-
That's true. Look at all your pikemen on standby.
Yeah, they haven't even attacked yet.
Oh man.
I mean, definitely, I think at least one crusher could.
Yeah.
You're right. I think a crusher could be in here.
oh
It
wait.
was a little too
It's still-
cruisy, this one. I would, like the second Death Knight was actually a lot more dicey in
Yeah.
comparison.
Oh, there they all are.
Yeah,
Sure, just
finally
like
come to the party. All right,
How
congrats,
sad would
guys.
that have been if that was a crusher, as I just sold all the walls
Yeah.
to let him in?
The 24 remaining are 24 crushes strolling out. We were there. All right, well, yeah, congrats. And we're gonna get ease clap indeed. Ease clap. Yeah, easy, GG, no re. Yeah, so one of the things you guys can do, if you are players of the game, when we get this one remaining nightmare, which is around, if you want to search for it,
Where are you?
is we currently in the Discord. Thank you everyone from the community for joining and for everything. But currently on the Discord and on the Twitter, if you defeat a multiplayer game on any difficulty or anything, you can take a screenshot of your victory screen and post it in that Discord chat. And you have a chance to win your very own Nightmare miniature, which are really cool. Congratulations. Woo. Getting big cheers.
Nicely done.
Your own Nightmare miniature. You can also win $50 gift cards for Steam, and then you'll also win a free copy of the game, which you can give to a friend and get them in on the co-op. So if you beat the game and post in there, do you want to press continue and you get to look at that screen? Post a screenshot of this.
We don't need to look at the individual scores.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But we can.
No, they're close.
really
they're close.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll win prizes for both you and the other person. So in this case, Josh Hayes and Alex Playside. But yeah, when does the contest end? I think it ends next week, so it'll be 2 weeks after launch. It's in the Discord, you can check it out. But, and you can enter as many times as you want, so if you're playing multiple games, keep entering all of those. And it's picked at random, so no high score or anything. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Do you guys have any final sign-offs, any final words? How are you feeling about 1.0 finally being here?
I feel, yeah, so I don't know, yeah, I feel so, so I think the team is just so excited to finally have it out. Like, this has been such a passion project for so many people on the team, so to, actually, get it out of early access and into 1.0, and yeah, it just feels awesome. It's so good. So, yeah, go play it.
Yeah.
It's fun as.
Nah, it's been awesome. Yeah, ditto. It's just it's awesome to see it, everyone enjoying it as well, and just even my mates as well. It's been telling them about the game, and they're all just like, oh, but I'll get it when it's multiplayer, or so I'll jump on with you, sort of thing. So it's cool to see everyone getting in, and I think it's opened up a whole nother side of the game, being able to play co-op and trying to cover each other's backs, and
for sure.
There's I think it's a lot more enjoyable. This is actually my first multiplayer game played all the way from start to finish. So,
it's a dub too.
Awesome.
You're 1-0.
Huge big dubs. Huge big dubs. Amazing, yeah, and just seeing the amount of players, having a 6.4k peak, double that
so
of
sick.
The early access launch, and it maintaining for the last week, that is really cool to see, and hopefully when the weekend comes, get another peak as well. So that's been so sick. Thank you so much to everyone. Last thing, once again, it's 65% off. If you haven't got the game, buy it. If you want to get a friend on board, tell them to buy it, or buy it for them. It's isn't that a nice gift? Thank you so much. That's it. Goodbye. Double salute.
Cool.
We will see you next week for another stream. We do these every week. Perfect sign off.